Welcome to the Built on Air podcast. We are in season 23, episode 3. Good to be with you. We've got myself and Ali Alosa. Welcome, Ali.
Hello.
Good to see you. Camille is under the weather today, so she'll be back with us next week. Hopefully she is feeling better. And we welcome everyone to the Built on Air podcast. This is a live show we do every week. And this season we've shifted things up a little bit, doing things a little different. So keeping it more focused and specific on a topic. Each week we'll do something different. Today we're going to dive deep into a specific topic. Ali's going to lead us in a discussion on live new custom extensions and vibe coding and the new world of AI code generation that is taking over the world.
Yes.
So excited for that. I don't think there's any big announcements. We'll have a show in 2 weeks of getting you up to date on all the latest releases and everything. But if there's anything major, we'd break it for you. So I think it was another relatively quiet week. And so, yeah, with that, unless any other updates on your end, Ali?
No, I don't think so. Just I was just telling Dan before we went live, we're digging out of 2.5 feet of snow here in the Boston area. So the city's coming back to life, I guess, today. So
yeah, I know a lot of people got hit pretty hard this weekend. So hopefully everybody is safe. Where I am in Utah, it's the warmest winter we've ever had. So it's kind of crazy. We're getting the opposite.
It's nuts. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Let me get your screen ready. There you go. See what you
Excellent. Got. All right. So this is going to be very fluid. I figured we'd talk it all through together. So I'm sure everyone's quite familiar with AI and code generation. People are talking about it constantly. And you may have heard about custom extensions that Airtable has been releasing or had in beta for a while. And now it's, I believe, in general release. But there's a kind of 2 different sides to this coin. One is a more advanced option, which is the true custom extension that Airtable had been talking about. And you may remember we showed there was a post on LinkedIn about had a shoe rotating, like a product generation interface where they were, had a 3D image of a shoe or a map, that kind of thing. That is all possible with custom interface extensions. But then it also requires you to, install this thing with your terminal, open up your terminal, do all these coding things, and work with the SDK or software development kit that Airtable has. And that's a bit advanced. And to be completely frank, every time I've tried to do it, I hit a roadblock. Even when I'm working with a programmer to help me install it on my computer and figure out how to do it, we're like, I don't know why it's not working. So I've kind of given up every time I've tried to go down that route. But I'm still hopeful that I will get there someday. But all of that being said, there is the other side of this coin, which is a kind of in-between bridge way of getting to this custom extension without needing to do anything in your terminal. You can do this all right within Airtable itself. So how do you do that? Well, up until I believe yesterday, and Dan, maybe you might have some insight on this as well, but it was only an AI Labs feature, but now they moved it into a beta. So I'm going to just show you how to access or how to see if you have this tool. And if you don't, I'll show you where to go to turn it on. So first, I'm going to open up my interfaces. And I'm going to just create a brand new interface. By the way, this base that I'm working in is a demo you may have seen me open before. It's the one I talked about in Airtable in New York City, October 24. It's around students and classes and just really simple student enrollment in each class. So really basic data that I'm working with here. But what I've been doing here is I will start a new interface just to play with. And I like to use this little sparkle emoji for AI. And I'll say, this is going to be my AI testing interface. Now, on the dashboard layout, I believe this is the only place you can use this tool right now. So I'm going to select dashboard and I'm going to say next. Now, the table doesn't really matter. I'm going to go with enrollments, but I will explain later why that doesn't necessarily matter. And we'll go from here. So I'm going to delete everything off of this. I don't care about any of that right now. Now, you'll see this option to add custom. That is not what I'm talking about. This is involved with the SDK having all these custom development stuff. This is a road I have not gone down yet. That's the bit more advanced road. And to get to the, in between that I'm talking about here, we want to open up Omni and click anywhere on my screen. I've noticed, this is just a side note, see how it says Chloe Price name? Like, I don't know why it thinks I've selected that. I'm not on a page that has that on it. So I've noticed that recently. I don't know why. It just seems to be picking a random record, like whatever is at the top of my screen before I, like maybe if I come here.
Is that the table that you selected, the source table?
No, the source table is called enrollments.
And
like I have no idea. No, there's the Chloe Price. That's not even the name of a record. Like, I have no idea where that's coming from. Like that might be the name of a student in my database, but
yeah, that's what I was wondering. Yeah.
But the dash name, I have no idea where that's coming from. Like maybe, okay, so that is a field.
Yeah.
Chloe
and
Price
it's the
name.
first one. Yeah.
Chloe Price first name, last name.
I think it's just saying it's pulling the field name. Yeah.
Yeah, it's grabbing whatever I was clicking on before I opened the interface. I wonder if I go first name.
And you didn't pick the students table? Did you pick the students table for your source? No?
No, I picked enrollments. So it's really strange, but that is, it's so odd, right? But it's important to pay attention to what is there. So whatever I've got selected on my interface, it's going to show me there what it thinks I'm talking about. And that will become more important as we go down this route. So first thing, you should see this option for tools. And then when you click there, you should see generate an interface element. This up until yesterday said AI Labs next to it, but now it's moved into beta. So I'm a little unclear as to, if you don't already see this, how you get access to it. That I was hoping to be able to guide people a little more clearly, but let me show you when I go into my admin panel, and I'm on the business plan, so I have an admin panel. You should be able to access the same settings from your workspace settings as well. When I go into my AI settings and scroll down, I have my AI Labs toggle turned on.
Yeah.
And that used to be the way you enable this tool. I'm a little unclear on whether that's still the way, so I apologize. I'd love to hear from people in the chat if they are not seeing that tool, and then we can kind of try and go from there. But hopefully you do see this, and if you don't, we can figure out why.
I have not played with these tools. Have you played with the other ones?
I've played with the report. Yeah, the report was interesting. The web table I haven't really needed to play with yet, but I think it could be interesting. It's basically like to be able to find data from the web, like if you're trying to like do some scraping or market research.
Does that basically like create a new table and have a field agent that's the web's rep crawl? Is that what that would do?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe that is the case.
And the report, does that just create dashboard elements, or does it do anything?
No, it's actually a PDF. Yeah, this is something I did the other night with a client. I said, please generate a simple report about my base's schema. I was trying to see if it could actually give me like an ERD. It didn't, but I wonder if you asked it to explicitly if it would. But this is still pretty cool. You can like watch it typing it in real time. I've played with this very briefly. I literally just said like generate a report you think would be useful for me, and it did. It went through my structure of my database and was like, oh, you've got a couple things here you could work on, and you could change this and do that and blah blah blah. So it might be interesting. I also asked it the other day for like real data, wanted to know like how my pipeline was changing over time. And it gave me some interesting charts. It actually put charts into the report. So worth playing with. And then you can download this as a PDF. So very cool little route to take there as well. But let's say the custom interface extensions, we're going to go to generate an interface element. And now I want to make sure I'm clicking on the screen and make sure it has the right thing, not that random record as the thing selected. So what would you like to create? The sky is literally the limit with this. I've done I cannot stop playing with this tool. I have like, it's like literally I like will be prompting it and like walk away and go work on something else and come back and reprompt it and come back like all day. It's super fun. It's also a little frustrating, but one of the coolest things that I've found that works with this, there's a few things that I can highlight here, but one is it really works well for kind of a replacement for Page Designer. And that is what I'm going to start with demoing today. So let's say I want a place where I can come and print off transcripts for the students in my school. I'm going to start really basic with my prompt, and you can imagine if you get really intricate with your prompt and more specific, things are going to look better and be more tailored to what you actually want. But most of the time I've kind of been starting broad and getting more specific as I go, just to like kind of gauge what exactly the AI can do. So let's say, please generate me an element where I can select a student from a left-hand scroll bar. When I select the student, I should see a detailed transcript of their enrollments and be able to click a button to print that transcript into a visually stunning PDF. Let's say, please use colors of, I don't know, let's say olive green to match the base. And let's just let it go to town. So while it's thinking, it's going to say what it's doing on the side here, and it's going to say generating, blah, blah, blah. It takes a little bit of time, but once it's done, we'll be able to either prompt it to make changes, or we can actually dive into the source code ourselves. And that's something that's new with this tool. When they first released the beta of the beta, essentially, of this little tool, you could not edit the source code. You could view it, you could copy it, but you could then not load it back into Airtable in any way. So it's kind of a black box in a way. But now you can edit the code, you can save it, you can like change it to what you want. And what I've found myself doing is taking that code and giving it to a different LLM and saying, fix this for me, because Omni's code, like while it looks good on the front end, sometimes the code is horrible. Like I don't write in React, but I can tell that it's not good.
Yeah.
And I'm learning. It's actually been really nice. It's been a good little foray for me to start learning React, because I've always wanted to. So I'm really loving this. It's giving me a good excuse to start doing that.
So a couple questions. I don't know if you'll get into these. So usually on a dashboard, so this doesn't lock you down to the source that you selected, right? So it could access
Correct.
any of the tables.
Yes,
Okay.
and that is relatively new as well. That's something that's going to be on the What's New page within the last couple of months. They've made it used to be that it could only access one table. Now it can access multiple.
Okay.
All right, let's take a look. So you can see here, I started off with enrollments. It decided to switch it to students. Sometimes it decides to put it within this section. Sometimes it creates a new one. Haven't really figured out the rhyme or reason. Sometimes I'll tell it, I'll actually write in my prompt, like start with the students table, start with the enrollments table, whatever it might be. It does make more sense to go with students, I think, in this case, because we're starting with a student and then viewing their enrollments underneath. So it tells me what it made on the side here. Sometimes it decides to put this little custom properties section on the side, and sometimes it doesn't. I've found it to be really frustrating when it does do the custom properties. It can be really weird to work with, and I can show you some examples as to why. But let's actually look at what this looks like. So if I'll preview, and we'll close Omni. Let's make it bigger as well. Make it large. So here I've got all of my students on the left-hand side, and I can see all of their enrollments. I can say I want to print this. I don't know. Can you see that print dialog?
It just went dark. Yeah, it didn't come up.
Here, let me stop sharing and reshare my whole screen because I think that will make... oh, Camille, thank you so much. I just saw what you wrote. Let's see, entire screen. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Excellent. All right, so when I click this print button here, you can see it actually looks pretty nice. Not horrible. And if this were longer, it would actually it would scroll as appropriate, not unlike Page Designer. Right. So already we're kind of in like a good place where it's like, oh, wow, like I could actually just replace Page Designer with this. Especially given that Page Designer is not automated. That's really the one caveat here, because this won't be automated either. But still really loving that. And it's interesting. It made this whole... It makes this a different web page.
Yeah, open.
When
interesting.
Yeah, right. Like, so, but really not a bad start. Yeah. And you can imagine you can kind of just start adding on to it from there. You can even start saying things like, okay, when I click on this class, like I can turn on the record details as well. So I could say, when I click on this enrollment, open up the detail page. Or I could say, I want a modal to pop up. The other things to pay attention to on the sidebar here are the sorting. It respects what sorting you put. So right now it's got students as alphabetical. If I flip that, it's going to flip that here as well. If I want to sort the enrollments here by what is shown, I can just go to my, sorting enrollments. And if I want to sort by, let's say, name, obviously that was already sorted by name. Now, if I flip it, that's going to respect that sorting as well. So it's like kind of like a hybrid between like it's all coded, but then you do have the ability to mess with the sorting and what's filters. Like I can even say the filters here, like name does not contain Zoe. We'll get rid of Zoe. Now Zoe's gone. So the filters work, the sorting works, all of that's really fun. But it's also something to pay attention to, because if it's giving you something that you don't expect, it might be because your filters aren't set correctly. just make sure you're paying attention to those settings as you're messing with the element.
Click on the tables drop down again in the data. Okay, so this is showing that you're using 3 tables, and but students is the main. You can't change like the order of those. That's but it's not levels like in a list view. It doesn't. It's so I'm just curious, like, could you? Because I know like in the custom extension, or maybe they change this in the more advanced one where it is kind of locked down to your source table, and then you can only access things through like linked records or lookup fields or whatever. But this one seems more free for all. You can just have full tables or data from multiple tables that aren't even linked to each other.
Yes. That is, that seems to be correct. I've noticed like some really weird stuff with these like these settings and the custom properties that it sometimes chooses to put in. Like if you don't have a field visible, like for example, let me see if I can find if I have one with the custom properties. I don't think I do. It's all in a base I can't share right now. But the custom properties might be like, okay, what field has your student in it on the enrollments table? And you have to choose that the student's field. Much like script settings. Like you choose what the fields are. But if the field isn't visible, if you don't have it showing as a field that this extension is using, then it will not work. So it's really important to make sure you have all the fields like allowed shown here. If I get rid of like the grade letter here, see, it just disappears from my list. So I need to make sure that I'm telling it can use that. If we look at the
Camille mentions briefly the regular custom extensions now support multiple tables, so that's good to know.
That's good.
Yeah, this like hybrid experience of like the custom code, but the configuration, it's kind of like a mix of no code and full code.
Exactly. It's very odd. So like this, I just went into, when I'm clicking on this on my sidebar, you have these 3 little dots. You can say edit source code. And in here, we can start kind of looking at what the code is that it's doing to build this. Now, I've found it often does this where it'll either hard code field IDs, or it'll be like, okay, the grade field is a number field probably. So it'll have this like weird function to be like filter out everything that's not a number field, and then be like, okay, only number fields are allowed to be the grade field. I'm like, why? It just makes weird decisions like that. So I've found that as I'm getting more used to the type of code it generates and like what it's trying to do, I'm trying to guide it in my original prompt to be like, start from this table, like use these fields, and then select the related records via this table, because it'll do really weird things like hard code the field names and then later on try and filter through to find the fields. And I'm like, you've already defined them. Why are you doing that? Yeah, this one looks not bad though. Honestly, this is better than other ones I've found.
Yeah. And so I'm thinking through like one of the downsides to this is, so you could copy this code, you could run it through ChatGPT, but you couldn't run this locally on your machine to like fully test it with a different, model, because you wouldn't be able to access these variables and data.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
interesting.
Definitely.
So you have to kind of copy, paste it back in here, test, and go back and forth. So that's probably the difference between the custom ones, where the custom you can run locally. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, this is very much it's contained within this interface, this base inside of Airtable. I can't even duplicate this. Like, there's no duplicate button. The only way to make a copy of it, I've found, is to actually duplicate the whole page. So that's been a little frustrating, but then you can, of course, you could edit the code and then like copy code from somewhere else and then paste it.
Gotcha. Yeah. So you could have like a dev version and then copy that into the live version. Yeah.
Exactly. I've found as well, it's really nice with this history. Like, you can roll it back really quickly. Like, if I say I prompt this and I'm like, all right, I want to, let's change our colors up. Like, I want to change it not from olive green. Let's add another color into the mix or something. Just to make it really a simple prompt. Now, this is the most important piece. When you open Omni up, like, say I'm just clicking somewhere, I open Omni. Again, it has Chloe Price name selected for some reason. Make sure that you first click on the element you want to edit. So if I want to prompt this to make a change to this specific element, I want to make sure that I've clicked on it and it says custom here. So it knows I'm asking it to make a change about this particular element. And I can say, please edit this element to include colors of olive green and, I don't know, gold. Now, this part I always do. I don't know if you need to or not. I think if you just hit enter, it would also work, but I'm not sure if you need to always have it on this generate element. Let's try it without it.
Yeah.
I've found this part to be a little bit buggy. It's literally, since they've moved it into beta yesterday, it used to ask me, are you okay with this plan? It would say, here's my plan. I'm going to make these changes. And then I would need to say, okay, go ahead. But now it's not asking me anymore. It's just like doing it. So that's a little frustrating. I did like it when it was like, here's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Are you okay with it?
Yeah. Usually in most AI environment, you'll have a toggle where you can ask it to confirm each time, or YOLO mode.
YOLO mode. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it knew it. If you didn't select that and it had the Chloe, what would it do if you were trying to make changes? Would it create a new one?
It would either create, it would probably come back. We can try it. Sometimes it comes back and it's like, I don't understand what you're asking me. Like,
yeah.
It'll be like, or I'm not able to do that. Please contact your administrator. Or sometimes it says, I can only edit elements that I've made in this same chat conversation. And that's just a lie. It's not true. It's just the words that you use to ask it to edit it. Like, I've found I change it to be, instead of please edit this element, I'll say, please update this existing element to change the colors to whatever. Like, if I just change one word, then it works. It's really strange. But again, it's in beta, so it's, I think, only going to get better.
Yeah. And another thing I saw, so the appearance. So one of the frustrating things about dashboard is you can't change the height of the blocks. And so at least this one gives you different sizes. It doesn't allow you to drag it to make it the size that you want, but at least you can go to a large size.
Yes, you can do that, and you can put it wherever you want. You can't put it where the numbers go, but you can put it like next to a chart. It can be into the like it can be next to something. It doesn't have to take the full width.
Yeah, gotcha.
Another
And
thing
then
go ahead.
I was going to ask, is it read only or can you update records as well?
Great question. I have actually not tried to update it within the actual element itself, but you can turn on the ability to click into record details so that you could edit the record in the side sheet.
Mm-hmm.
That works. I have not actually tried asking it to like give me a place to like type or select a value.
Interesting.
But that's a great question. One thing
Yeah,
I
I
did
wonder
try the other day, I think it probably would work.
Yeah, if you could create your own edit record forms.
I think probably. There's another example. Let me try and find that one. It was in here. This is one I did for a Gap consulting group coaching session. And we had somebody asked in the chat if you could have a, oh, I guess I don't have it in this base. It will work. It kind of does work to embed websites, which is really cool. Oh, cool. So it added some gold into the mix. Looks kind of ugly, but so there's our revised transcript. Not bad.
Ask it to allow you to edit a student's score or something.
All right. I can also toggle this on.
You could do that.
But I don't think it'll let me do anything.
How do you get into it?
Yeah. Let's see.
How do you get to the sidebar?
Yeah, we'll go here and say, please allow me to edit the students' scores on their transcript. To edit inline. And it would be what field it's called. Grade number. All right. And if I do that, maybe that's what makes it ask me before. Let's see. No, it's not. It's just going to do it.
Going.
Oh, it added a new field. No. See, this is what's so frustrating. It's like, okay, my prompt was probably really poor there. Like that's probably on me. But you need to be careful about your wording. Like exactly. Yeah. So in here, I want to say I should be able to, no, I'm trying to get that to go away. When I click on a student, I should be able to edit their grades directly on this transcript. Allow me to edit the field grade number in line. I don't know. I'm still getting better at my prompting, but you can imagine how like fun this can be. Just like kind of trying to see what else it can do, what else it can come up with. I have a client that's a landscape company, and one of the things I'm working on with them is like visualizing each of their daily routes. So you could like literally click on a route and it like shows the road with like visualize of each house stop along the way. And like when you mouse over a house, it shows how long is planned there, who's assigned to what task at that house. Like it's really, you can do whatever you want with it, which is so fun.
Yeah.
There's
Still going.
Yeah, right. One thing I was also trying was like played with my wedding planner base to see if I could get it to like produce a seating chart. But stuff like that. Let's see what it did. Enabled inline editing for the grade number field. Added input fields and buttons for saving and canceling edits directly in the table cell. Implemented functionality to switch the cell content from static display to editable mode when clicked. Okay, let's see.
Let's try it.
Oh,
look at that.
That's so cool.
That's awesome.
Be like, actually, she got an A++. Look at that. Oh my gosh. I didn't think that was going to work.
I mean, that kind of experience, you know, like it just opens up the world of possibilities.
It really does. Like, that just got me so excited. I was like, wait, no way. So cool. Yeah, like amazing stuff. So you can really turn on all sorts of things here too. So like I just turned it on so that I could have the detail page show up, but I don't necessarily know when it lets you click on like that detail page.
Yeah, how do you get to
it? Maybe if I feel like it's not. Sometimes I've actually told Omni like when I click on this thing, it should open the detail page.
Yeah, because I think there's a code that it has to run to open the sidebar. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just so fascinating, this world, this hybrid world of, you know, Airtable with custom.
Seriously. Like you could just go forever trying to get all this in here. Let's see what I'm just trying to figure out if any of these work. Let's see.
Okay, there's a little bit of breaking news. Should we break some breaking news that just came in?
Absolutely.
So shout out to Ben Bailey, who posted this in the Built on Air community. Go open a browser and go to superagent.com.
Oops, sorry, I just stopped sharing.
Yeah.
Let me share again.
If you want, I can share.
Yeah, go for it. Superagent.com.
Yeah. You want to share or you want me to?
I'll share. I'll go share.
Go
entire.
Superagent.com. Looks like it was just released today. So this is a product from Airtable. It's essentially a whole new product.
All right.
And so I don't know if it's like interfaces reimagined with AI and everything behind it. I don't know if it's similar to, you know, the product, whatever the other product was called, Product Builder.
Product Central.
Product Central, yeah, thank you. Where this is like built on top.
Yeah.
Sign up. 1 month free. So you just get a 1 month free trial. They don't have a free tier. So we're gonna have to check this out because I'm curious, because it's definitely like, I'm guessing this is what they would say, like, okay, this is what Airtable would look like if we started in the day of AI.
Yeah.
And just kind of like just the AI elements of Airtable.
Interesting.
And it looks like you're gonna have to pay more to get this functionality. It's probably not gonna be built into Airtable.
Probably not.
But
this is quite interesting. Very cool.
Yeah,
I'll have to look further.
We'll have to try this out. My guess is like you still set up everything in an Airtable. I don't know. Like, I wonder, because if you're paying for this, it doesn't look like you have to have Airtable. So I don't know what the data layer looks like behind this.
Yeah,
Or if
right.
it's all just, you don't have access to the data layer, but it's Airtable underneath, but you don't see it.
Right. But these are actually great examples, like all those little elements, like those are kinds of things you could do within that vibe coding space as well. Like one of the things I've tried doing is like creating like a box and whisker plot to figure out like distribution of data across my database, like different, more advanced charts you can do, which is really fun. But yeah, this is wild.
Yeah.
Makes me think of, I've been listening to this podcast called Shell Game. Highly recommend it. It's the first season is about a guy that makes an AI clone of himself and like all the ethical and technical challenges he ran into along the way. But the second season, which is on air now, is about him creating a company made up of AI agents. And it's super funny, very relatable if you're in this space. So I would highly recommend checking that out.
Interesting.
But
okay, I just signed up. I'll give you a sneak peek. See what this looks like. All right, let's do this. Okay, so I'm not seeing anything Airtable related. So it's super agents. Okay, so it's planning. So we got kind of a chatbot UI. So you can create different things. I don't see any kind of data layer.
Yeah, right? It.
Let's do this one. Okay, so let's see. Super agent, slides. Let's create some slides. So it looks more like an asset builder tool. But pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I'd be curious, like, okay, so they launched like a full separate product. So now it's a 2-product company. This is interesting what the future of Airtable looks like with this.
Right? Like, okay, so it's basically just a way of creating reports, or like, is it any kind of task?
Yeah, so super report, slide deck, document, website. So website builder.
You know what's so funny is we talked about that website like tool last week or maybe 2 weeks ago, and one of my clients actually might use it. I was like, that actually might, like, they were talking about trying to come up with a really simple, like, mock-up of the homepage, and I was like, maybe we could actually use that.
You found the use case. This is kind of cool. So this is showing all the sub agents. So it's out fetching data, processing it from different locations.
Crunchbase.
Yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, this is going to take a while.
Yeah, but quite interesting.
Okay, now it's doing its research. So that it does planning, researching, verifying, synthesizing. So it's got different kind of sub agents. You can click into each one, and it's got web search agents, So any kind of asset building, research, modeling, report building type use cases. Looks pretty interesting. But it doesn't appear to be like a workflow tool.
Right.
Like Airtable. So this is more, I wonder if they realize like, okay, we have all these search functionality agents. You know, I'm not seeing a connection. It's kind of interesting how this plays into their strategy.
Yeah, I'd be really interested to see.
Yeah. Cool. Well, anything else on your presentation? Anything we missed?
Just really that the sky's the limit. I mean, like, I'd love to hear what other people are doing with this. Like, you can. I was really surprised the other day. We tried to like have it be like embed a website inside of an interface, and that worked well. For some websites, other sites not so much. It just showed the little frowny robot guy that Airtable shows when it doesn't like an embed. But like, I really think this is going to be kind of the way of the future, as everyone's saying. Sometimes Airtable's internal tools just don't quite cut it. Like another great example is I had a client that had the timeline view, and you can use the utilization within the timeline to like highlight it. If somebody's overutilized, you could turn it red or something. But he wanted to be like, have it red if somebody has time off that day, and have it green if they have an assignment that day. And the only way to really do that was to like have -1 for time off and a +1 for an assignment. And if it's negative, be green. If it's positive, whatever. We had to kind of work with Airtable's constraints. And it didn't look good. We couldn't get to where we wanted to go. So enter this custom interface element. We were able to vibe code a timeline element where we were like, if somebody's assignment has time off as the label, make the day red. And then when you click on the day, it shows all of the assignments, just like a leveling up of the timeline view. And you can tell it, make this extension look just like Airtable's timeline view, except make these changes. So really fun stuff. Sky's the limit. Would love to see what everyone else is building with it.
Yeah, no, it is cool. It opens it up. Just when you're saying like embedding, if you can embed iframes into it, which it sounds like it does support, that opens up some cool stuff you could do there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, very cool. And I do like how you can have like multiple, windows of custom extensions all working side by side.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Really fun
cool
stuff.
Well, yeah let us know what you're building. This really, I think, is something that you wonder at what point do they stop development on interface builder and just really start to push people to do this approach.
Yeah, I hope they don't.
Right.
But I mean, like, I've found it to be quite frustrating in some cases, because it'll be like, oh, I did it. I made the change that you wanted. And I'm like, no, you didn't. And it still is like, it's not actually summing the values correctly. And I find myself yelling at it. And I'm like, that's not going to be helpful. But someday it'll get better.
Yeah. Cool. Let me see. We're almost, let's see, on one of these. Yeah, we're still verifying. So, okay, next week I'll show you the output of Super Agent of what these come back with, and see what's on there. So awesome. Thank you for showing that, Ali, and we will be back with you next week. Have a good week, everyone.
Thank you.